Formula One moves away from the Principality and over to Canada. We're on the Ile Notre Dame, a man-made island back in the 60s. We're on the land around the casino for the Canadian Grand Prix at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. 8 races down as well. Round 9 takes us here in Canada and kicks off June, followed then as well by the Spanish Grand Prix in a couple of weeks' time. Austria leads us in as well, along into July with the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Hungary then takes us to Belgium for the summer break. August has us in the Netherlands, and then Italy takes us to September along with Azerbaijan and Singapore. October sees us in Austin, Texas for the United States Grand Prix, then to Mexico. Then November takes us to Brazil and Las Vegas. December has Qatar and Abu Dhabi. In the Drivers' Championship, Max Verstappen leads on 169 points. Charles Leclerc is second with Lando Norris now in third. Carlos Sainz drops to fourth. Sergio Perez is fifth. Oscar Piastri sixth. George Russell and Lewis Hamilton seventh and eighth. Fernando Alonso and Yuki Tsunoda round out the top 10. Lance Stroll is 11th on 11 points, Behrman on 6th, Hulkenberg, Ricciardo, Albon now jumping to 15th, Ocon and Magnussen and Gasly now with points, so Bottas and Sargent still pointless. In the Constructors' Championship, Red Bull lead on 276, Ferrari and then McLaren close behind. Mercedes and Aston Martin in a little battle, RB ahead now of Haas, Williams with points as well as Alpine, Sauber the only pointless team on the grid. Let's take a look around the circuit Gilles Villeneuve here on the Ile Notre Dame, a 2.710 mile circuit, 70 laps ahead of us as well. A man-made island. It's a driver fan favourite. All starts with a good exit through the last corner, past the wall of champions. Keep the car sort of centred towards the track as you start the lap. Downhill towards turn number 1, light on the brakes all the way down into a second gear corner. Control the slide, the rear always wants to step out on you as you approach turns 3 and 4. Quick through the chicane as well, carry so much more exit curb, you're allowed to do it as you rise up to past the casino and one of my favourite corners. A lot of inside curb, switch back, control the power of the slide in the rear as you open up the DRS down towards turns 8 and 9. Heavy on the brakes once more, down into 4th gear, control the speed of the exit, quick flick again through the chicane as you approach the fearsome turn 10 hairpin. You're going down now, all the way to 2nd gear. Gently leave it on idle, then push the power down as you grow down past the old start-finish straight as well, past the Detroit Casino on the right, and now down towards the fearsome last chicane and the wall of champions. Get it wrong here as well, from 8th gear down to 5th, and you're in the wall. Use so much more exit curb, keep the car again pinned to the right, and that is a lap of the circuit Gilles Villeneuve here in Canada. We're all set then here for third practice on the Ile Notre Dame. It's Saturday morning and the action ready to kick off. Hello everybody, welcome to third practice here for Montreal's Canadian Grand Prix. Yesterday's rain affair, 2 practice sessions seem to have disappeared. There's a 20% chance of rain in this session. The safety car has been out a few moments ago to make sure everything's okay. It is. And now we're getting ready to go for what should be a dry session. Omi's alongside me in the commentary box as well. Megan's on her way. And Omi, yesterday was a mess. Today looks like it's drying up ever so slightly, but fingers crossed it's going to be a pretty much normal day.
Yep, absolutely. Fingers crossed indeed. But yesterday was chaotic. Lot of wet, lot of dry, mixed conditions all the way throughout. And then, of course, lots of delays as well along the way. But today, practice 3 seems like it's going to be dry, but qualifying has a chance that it could rain later on. So does the race tomorrow. So this could be a useless session as well. So who knows how this is going to go.
Yeah, rain is increasing, and even for tomorrow, there is a high chance of rain coming in as well. So, keeping fingers crossed and everything. Let's hand over quickly. I know, not really like it, Dozomi, but let's hand over to Simon, to Danik, and to Karun.
Knew that was coming, isn't it? The fact that they haven't signed Carlos already is, you know, he hasn't said it in so many words, but it's an indication. And they're putting together a very exhaustive test program with Antonelli, preparing him. Whether their future starts in 2025 or they need to get someone else in with a stopgap is what they're trying to judge now in terms of the preparation that they're giving Antonelli.
I wonder if a few of the tectonic plates are just beginning to shift into position, because noises yesterday from Williams, what we're understanding, it seems more likely than not that potentially Carlos is going to end up down there, and maybe that will play into what we're saying about Antonelli.
And let's understand that usually people don't start saying things that seem so conclusive until they've come a pretty far way along, because we get shocked with information too, which has obviously been happening behind the scenes. So I think usually when people start saying things that we can grab onto and like look at as a pretty likable future coming from someone like Toto, or coming from someone that is in charge, it's pretty likely.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll keep you across that, because we're hoping to speak to James Vowles at the end of this session. We can ask him directly whether that is going to happen. Perhaps they might be announcing that before Spain. That's what the rumour mill is having. But you never know, do you, in Formula One? Right, can Max put what went wrong yesterday right today? Let's find out. Let's head up to David Croft.
Free practice 3 for the Canadian Grand Prix on the man-made island on the Ile Notre Dame, right in the centre of Montreal. It's round 9 of the 2024 World Championship, and it's time, the third and final practice session, and hallelujah, it's dry. Track temperature 35.1 degrees, air temperature 20.5 degrees, 62% humidity as the track itself, though, it's a 4.361 kilometre circuit, 2.710 miles. And we have had many an action zone here over the years. 5.26 metre elevation changes, turn 2 to 5. Pretty much the same. For the first time this weekend, we're really going to properly use the dry tyres. C3 white hard, C4 medium yellow, C5 red soft is the fastest. Wet tyres, green intermediate blue for the extreme wet weather tyres. The X-Wets is what they call them over there in the strategies, and practice 3 gearing up to get started now as well. 60 minutes only in the middle of the St. Lawrence Seaway, and yesterday we couldn't separate the water from the track. Today, a little bit different, but there's dark clouds coming in, and from Road America, where it's blowing in from, it was raining heavily there in practice a few moments ago, so we're in for an interesting session.
Yeah, we are definitely in for an interesting session that will definitely see lots of track running, and it will be exciting to see what does the pace look like, because we still don't have an idea. As we mentioned, of course, we had teams doing all sorts of things, the weather doing all sorts of things yesterday, so no one was able to get some good running in. So we come here into Saturday not having a clue what's going to happen. So let's see if we can get a better idea in this session now.
Yep, not a single clue what we've got lined up as well. Downtown Montreal looks to be okay. There's the casino on the opposite side. There's Salute Gilles as well for Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Gilles Villeneuve, of course, top over for the Canadian Grand Prix legend that won the race back in 1978. His son, Jacques Villeneuve, was world champion in 1997. Karun Chanok is in the comp box alongside David Croft. Let's say good afternoon to them.
Day, though, with no rain, fingers crossed for the time being.
I think it is because, you know, normally we hope for a bit of jeopardy because we think we need that for somebody to challenge Red Bull and Max. That's been the case for a lot of this season. I think it's different here. I think it's like Monte Carlo. I think it's like Imola. They no longer have that big advantage. And I think in a dry qualifying, these cars, the red drivers, so the red cars here, Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc, as well as McLaren, and maybe Mercedes, can all be in the fight for pole.
It's a case, if you're Red Bull, of curbing your enthusiasm, if you'll pardon the pun on that one. The curbs have all been replaced here, but they have been replaced with the same aggressive curbs that we had before, and for some reason, the current iteration of that Red Bull doesn't like aggressive curbs.
No, that's true. And yesterday, Max Verstappen suffered a broken ERS system for good measure. And Omi, I know you were watching the session. You saw it smoking down the pit lane. Now, no penalty coming his way because they've managed to swap it back. But he had a whole new set of everything coming into this weekend. And Max on the back foot here in Montreal. Norris took FP1. Alonso took FP2.
Yep, indeed as well. So it'll be exciting to see how this weekend does go for Red Bull, because it seems like every track that does begin with an M, it's all going wrong for them. So let's see if they can finally break the curse here as well. But Aston Martin will be hoping that Alonso does look quick. Unexpectedly, we do have expectedly I should say, we do have a queue at the end of the pit lane, and it's the two Red Bulls which are about to get us going.
They're being told in about 5 seconds time. So 3, 2, 1, and the green light goes on now, and we are underway for the third practice session for the Canadian Grand Prix. And straight out onto the track goes Max Verstappen. Sergio Perez follows him as well. So Max lost a lot of running yesterday. I know a lot of the drivers did, but seriously a lot of issues for Max Verstappen, with that new ERS having to come in as well. So he's definitely a driver who is on course to rectify it. 62% humidity, 6.4 the wind blowing in from the southeast, it's now saying. Hyperfair timing 71. Sorry, and Multiview, they're telling me the right things here as well. Multiview showing us the correct graphics. Online definitely not showing us the correct graphics at the moment coming in. Max attack will still attempt to see the difference as he comes out on the circuit as well. Verstappen on a 25.842 in the middle sector as well, coming into it. Fingers crossed, it's going to be an interesting
I'm also
session.
trying to get my lifetime to work.
Yeah, lifetime is not working correctly. Someone who is working is Megan Birch, who's walked into the box. Hello.
Hey.
It's dry, and Max is on the circuit.
Oh, doing well?
Oh, well, I don't know, it's his first lap. Looks like he's better than yesterday, that's the main thing. We hope he stays the same.
So everything's good with him now?
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Just realised something. Well, I edited this computer a few days ago. Yep, I never changed it back.
What?
Well, I'm going to leave it because it's working, but I always set this computer to 1,000. It's at 2,000. Double it.
Maybe that's what it needed.
It's streaming fine, so...
I think it needed that because...
Quality's better as well, if you look at it. So I'm going to leave it. It's fine.
Yeah, just leave it. It's fine.
It's IndyCar the way you have to whack it down to 700. So yeah, F1's fine. Excellent.
You found the magic number for it.
Touring cars is fine too. Stream that all day, not an issue. As they come in. Max has got loads of traffic though. It's Alonso and Stroll, and he nearly hits the back of... I think it was a McLaren coming through that back half. Yeah, no, he hit Alonso, yeah. Norris is in there too. Stroll's further up the road. Verstappen nearly hitting everybody right now. Out on the circuit as he comes into the 13-14 chicane. But, he's missed the corner. Max missed it.
Yeah, and he's gone off the lap now, I think.
So Max Verstappen still is having issues in this Red Bull. He has not got it as hooked up as you'd like it. Is it me, or is this the beginning of the downfall for Red Bull?
It might be.
What do you think, mate? What do you make of it, Omi? Just gets a rear snap on mid-corner.
Yep, absolutely does. Goes straight on. So still not feeling comfortable is the Dutch driver, trying to take victory once again after a little break, of course. But did take victory in Imola. But now he's starting to take less victories overall. Let's hear from him.
Why? But the whole weekend already, this steering, super weird for me.
So not a good day overall for him.
Complaining about the steering already.
That's not going to do any good to anything. Is that smoke coming out of the thing? It was a dust.
Dust off the racing line.
Dust.
Good, because I don't think he can handle smoke coming out of it again.
One thing we've got to remember is this is a resurfaced track that got deluged in water yesterday. There is absolutely no grip whatsoever on this track. Yeah. So, we're into the unknown, effectively. Just going to take that down a little bit on the headphones. It's peaking. We don't want to be peaking on the monitors. Gasly, 1:16.412. So Gasly goes faster.
It's good time.
Yeah, he's finding that delta.
Oh, who's that coming out?
Well,
it was
that's
a blue front.
It's Danny Ricciardo.
It was a 2.
That's Logan Sargent then, who was already out of the circuit. Sargent's down at 910, so that must have been the 3 of.
Why did we have a 1, 2, and a 3 and a 4? we miss Vettel, because if he was here, we could have had a 5.
Yeah.
We need someone with a 6 now. Come on.
We used to have Nico Rosberg having 6, of course. He's the only driver to beat Lewis Hamilton in equal machinery, you know. Esti Besti coming in.
Oh!
And straight into the wall with the DRS broken is Zhou Guan Yu.
Again.
His tyres are like stuck in like a gap.
Yeah, it's turn 1. This will be a red flag. Has to be a red flag. There's no option.
He can't get out.
Yeah.
Look, he's right next to that. He's on the pit lane line.
He's drifted at the exit of 1, so he's. Well, I'm okay. Red flag's out, so session stops.
Whoever just came out of that pit lane is just like, you gotta be joking.
We were so close. We got 7 minutes and another red flag to stop the session.
Oh my.
So Zhou Guan Yu goes into the barrier and brings out the red flag. Here's how he did it, Omi, as well. I think he's just going to lose it straight into the barrier at 1.
Yep, let's see. Turn number 1, and just loses it on the exit, and then skates off straight into the barrier, and that's a second crash that he has had this weekend.
It's a really weird one, because as soon as he gets back on the accelerator, the car just hooks round on itself.
I have no idea what's happening with the car. But the car is so strange, man. It just lock up all the rears.
It was lucky no one was coming out of the pit lane at that time.
It did look too strange as well.
I couldn't see who that was, but one of the Astons came out not long after. So they would have seen the crash.
Something's going on with our bus mix-up at the moment.
Every time you move something, I can't hear something.
I know, because I'm trying to reset it. Because my mic's...
What's Zhou doing?
Zhou is looking at the rear suspension, making sure it's okay.
Now, he's bust up the rear wing. He just moved it about. It's like, oh, that's bust.
Yeah, Sky going to an ad break as well. Opportune moment then to hand over to BBC Radio 5 Live. Harry Benjamin is alongside Alex Brundle, and they're going to be having the latest gossip for us as well down there on the circuit to see exactly what is what. So I think we're back level now. Something was just affecting the level of our headsets up here in the comms box. So let's hand it back downstairs and hopefully have a word with Harry Benjamin.
And as I was looking, I then turned around and saw Fernando Alonso in the Aston Martin and Yuki Tsunoda in the RB coming down the pit lane. And I thought, I don't think you're going to get very far because the red light at the end of the pit lane then came on, and sure enough, both drivers had to stop. Then everybody came flying into the pit lane. Red Bull did a practice pit stop with Sergio Perez. Lewis Hamilton came into the Mercedes box, and all the while, Fernando Alonso and Yuki Tsunoda were just sitting there. And then came the Aston Martin crew running down the pit lane with their sort of skateboards, I like to call them. They popped Alonso on that, and he's being wheeled back up the pit lane and a little bit slower to get down there where RB, of course, they've got a little further to travel. They've now got Yuki Tsunoda up on the skateboards, and they are going back to their home as well while this red flag is flying, and they try and get Zhou Guanyu's car to safety. So yeah, a bit of a pause, and actually just a quick update on conditions. It's very blowy, windy, gusty down in the pit lane, so I'm not sure how this affects drivers around this particular track, Alex. Is it a sensitive one when it comes to wind here?
So that wind very much a crosswind through the exit, blowing towards the Wall of Champions. And yeah, it's definitely a factor, especially between the trees there and between the walls, where you may go in and out of the effect of the wind as it blows through the various areas of the racetrack. Always the big braking zones a factor. The wind as it stands at the moment, Rosanna, not a specific headwind or tailwind for any of the big straights or the big braking zones, which is what you'd look out for as a driver. But there are plenty of areas of the racetrack where they're turning into it and out from it, which can really destabilize the car. Could easily have been a factor. Now a look at the direction of that wind in this issue for Zhou Guanyu, along with having the tyre not quite ready and just misjudging the grip at the apex of turn 1.
Well, the drivers are already keen to get back out. Oscar Piastri leading the charge down at the end of the pit lane, waiting for that red light to turn green. He's followed by Max Verstappen, and as you can hear, they're now all queuing. I'm looking at the Mercedes of George Russell. Behind him, we've got Pierre Gasly, and then behind him, his teammate for now, Esteban Ocon. Lots of news coming out of the Alpine outfit in the coming in the lead up to Montreal, and it was yesterday Jack Doohan sitting in for Esteban Ocon. He'll be so disappointed that the conditions weren't like they are now. Yesterday, Jack Doohan, of course, finished third in F2, waiting for the opportunity to find his way into F1. But as we stand here now, it's rather loud, rather noisy, as they're all waiting, and we have now got a green light at the end of the pit lane. Oscar Piastri and the McLaren leading them away, Harry.
Thanks, Rosanna. Yeah, clock still continues to count down, so it's 49 minutes and 55, 54, 53 seconds. Initially, everybody out there on the medium and the hard compound tyre. Fastest lap time so far as we get FP3 back underway is from Pierre Gasly in the Alpine, a 1:16.4, 1.2 seconds clear of his teammate Ocon. Then it's Perez in third. Joe did set a lap time enough for fourth fastest, but then found the walls. He's out of this session. Sainz, Bottas, Leclerc, Sargent, Hamilton, Russell, the top 10.
Thank you very much, Harry. And the back live now with the session. Is my microphone okay? Because sometimes it goes low, sometimes it goes high. I've got no idea what's wrong with it.
I can't hear anything. And I can't hear you. Hold on, speak again.
Yes, hello.
Hold on. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
I can hear you fine. It's just...
Yeah.
I'm probably not the best person to ask about it.
Just going...
What happened with Zoe?
He's just spun off.
Another crash.
Ah! Hang on. There. Hang on. It's the stereo, it's the aux sends on the bus mixer. Mine have been not correctly lined up. Right, there we go. Okay, there we go. I can hear myself now. Good. I couldn't hear myself for a few minutes, and then it sounded like I was peaking. Like I was so close to the microphone, but I'm not.
I can hear you more now.
Yeah. So there we go. It's these headphones. Honestly, this Josh T's disappeared. They just need to be reset massively ahead of us as well.
Well, look, you've got new earbuds coming in.
Yeah, that's going to be a run and a half, isn't it, when it actually gets started? It's this thing as well.
I feel like it keeps moving it.
Yeah. Can't get my ears right. There we go. Test, test, test. So, Piastri, first two sectors looking strong. Sainz 2. Leclerc's 2.5 tenths down. And I think, I mean, the good point here is the fact is that we've got a dry track to bed in, but it needs grip. But if that rain comes in qualifying, it's just going to wash it all away again. I love weekends like this, as Max does a 1:15.4.
Yep, Verstappen to the top. Purple in all 3 sectors as well. As we see Sainz go over the line into 5th. The first few laps just getting on the board right now. And here is the second Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. He is going to go into 4th position. But yeah, it's always interesting with wet conditions and also with a huge chance of rain for tomorrow as well. We could find exciting one as well.
Gasly across the line and stays second, 116.239. Lando Norris in 17th place. By the way, if anyone's saying anything on the YouTube chat, it's not working for me at the moment, so I can't access the YouTube chat at the moment. It's not working. So it'll load. It's just buffering at the moment.
Magnussen's just about to probably make a very good time.
Yeah.
And he just has.
Second place. Oh, it's a 116.
Sergeant fourth.
Yeah, what is the time? 116.199 on the board as well. Good time there. Alonso goes up into 10th place on a 117.648. Don't know why, but it's like the timing tower's a couple of seconds back.
Yuki's tyres are cold. Right. Hulkenberg we're looking at right now. Is he on an opening lap? Hold on, let's just see. How's he doing? Has he got through sector 1 yet? He's just about to, I think.
I've never had to do this before, but it's like the timing tower just won't respond.
Yep, he's just making his way through sector 1. I think this is his fastest lap.
Sky has suddenly gone seconds ahead of everybody else.
That's right.
There we go, back in sync now. Yeah, back in sync.
Lovely.
Wow, getting closer. 16 now.
On board of Hulkenberg.
20th at the moment, no time set. He's out there on the 5-lap old medium compound tyre. And yeah, it's bouncing like crazy coming down to turn 10. One thing right, the F123 game, handling absolutely horrendous. F124, handling absolutely horrendous. They can't get it right. It's like they go too far one way, they go too far to controller, and then they go too far to steering wheel, and it's a yin-yang.
Then maybe next year they'll find the balance.
Well, personally, I want a different handling setup.
Yeah. F124 though is a big step down though with the handling to F123.
Not even bothering buying it yet. Oh, hang on, Albon's across the grass, and he's not gone behind the bollard. A stupid bollard position, personally, because if you're off the grass, you're losing the time anyway. But the race director likes to have the feel like he's got a little bit of power for drivers going off the track. And Albon on the mediums goes straight on at turn 8 and 9.
Alonso goes second, Ricciardo goes third.
Oh, okay, but Verstappen's still fastest overall. That flies is now buzzed out the back of the box.
Only by 300ths of a second, though.
Oh, I've got my YouTube chat back. Excellent. Hello to SHT. Ever since Adrian Newey announced his departure, Red Bull seemed to be starting to crumble apart. Good point. Well, Latifi was number 6 back then as well. Oh, he was as well. Good point. Take on the F1 rule change 26. I'm personally. They look good, and we're going to talk about that more in the race show tomorrow, Adam. Let's hear quickly from...
The brakes, like, everything feels off. The stopping power feels terrible.
Albon's not happy with that, and the mic is good. And hello to Paul. Yes, we're okay, Paul. And Paul, we're making that tomatoes and vegetable soup next week, by the way. Turn 9's involving Albon is under investigation as well. And this is Bottas at turn 7 with the McLaren. Oops, just in the eye line, and then he went off the track. That was a bit close.
Bit close indeed. Not what you want at all, especially in qualifying at the end of the lap when everyone will be pushing on, especially in Q1. Carlos Sainz currently sits in 15th. Albon noted failing to follow the race director's instruction, escape road. Basically, it's been noted Sainz did cross the line, and he has been able to go into 14th, just ahead of his teammate Charles Leclerc as well. Alonso, though, is the quickest car in the first sector.
I agree with what Paul says here, is that I'm not paying 65 quid for minimal change to the F1 game. It's all about F1 Manager, if you ask me. Frontier are doing a fantastic job. They really are. Frontier is doing an amazing job with F1 Manager. I reckon they could have the full game soon as well.
The radios, the amount of radios they've got for next year is crazy.
Oh, I'm going to buy that one as well. F1 24. Manager 24. Going to get that one.
Ooh, Alonso's doing very well in sector 2.
I'd feel like I'd play the F1 Manager game more than I would the F1 game, because that's more me. I don't really enjoy driving that much. If it's R Factor, yeah, but Alonso 1:14.870 goes fastest, but I enjoy more the managing factor of it. Because you just sort of sit back and you watch the action, pretty much what we're doing now. Like Football Manager. I love playing Football Manager. It's fantastic.
I'll start commentating on the races, which I usually do when I play it.
Yeah, exactly. See? I love it.
F 124, the only reason I've got it is because I need to commentate on PSG and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Other than that, I wouldn't get it. It's not really an upgrade.
I'm not going to get it either. I didn't get F123 either, to be fair. I got that only because it was on PlayStation Network for the month. So I'll wait for it until it is next time.
Yeah.
Getting really cold.
Yeah, it could probably be sooner with people not buying it as much.
Yeah. Free game for a month and then, yeah.
Albon failing to follow the race director's instructions. Escape road has it. No further investigation.
I love how you say, by the way, it's a free game. It's not actually a free game. Because you're paying monthly subscriptions anyway to use it, and that revenue still goes to the game. Yeah. So you pay it, but like a much, much cheaper price. But you just say it's free. Still, I haven't got room on my console at the moment to install all that. Because my hard drive has been used for for 2024 Motorsports. That is being processed, so I've got to wait to buy a new one. Second half of this year is going to be really fun. Magnussen looking very strong as well, almost into the champions wall. Comes across the line, and does he jump up into at least second? No, he goes fourth. 1:15.044 then for Kevin Magnussen. Mighty good time coming to it. You'll have to let me know about the soup. I will, Paul. I will. I haven't seen the cricket.
It's really cold.
Oh, wait. USA upsetting Pakistan. Yeah, that's good.
It's really cold.
You're cold.
Freezing.
Megan, it is warm here. Hang on, Megan. It's bright sunshine outside. It's 15 degrees.
Yeah, it's freezing.
Bright sunshine. The door's open to the back of the box because we need some oxygen here. And you're cold.
Yeah, it's freezing.
Alonso second fastest. There's Joe Guan Yu in the pit lane then. And he's just changing it up. Alonso fastest in the middle sector. Trying to have a bit more power through. Nearly jumps it into the wall. Up to the line. And Alonso improves to a 1:14.445. Very good time there from Fernando Alonso. He's fastest as Zhou Guanyu continues to study the data with how he made a mistake. Well, how the accident happened. As we see Pedro Dalla Rosa. The only F1 driver in history to bring out a red flag in after the checkered flag of a session. Did it twice. Monaco in 2000 and Canada in 2011. Crashed at the end of practice and brought out the red flags as Perez gets blocked by one of the Hasses and he's on the radio.
Yeah, what the hell is it?
Yeah, I mean,
probably K-Mag. Let's face it.
Perez, Sargent. Yeah, Magnus is into the pit lane now and Hulkenberg's too far back, so I presume it was him.
What a surprise.
So right, in between practice 3 and qualifying, I've got to go cook a curry. Oh, and off goes Piastri.
Doesn't take too long, thankfully.
No, it doesn't.
And I can help you with it. You can teach me how to cook more.
Nope.
Why? You're the only one who's teaching me right now how to cook.
Maybe. Norris goes second on a 1:14.911. As Piastri went off the track, there's Tom Stallard.
Well, I tell a lie. Mum's been helping teach me some things. Like, she taught me how to make scrambled eggs the other day.
Tom Stallard, of course, racing Gianfranco Piastri. This is Piastri, though, me just getting a tank slapper.
Yep, indeed. Having to go through the runoff and going round the bollard and where he's meant to do if you can, of course. Sometimes you just carry too much speed in there where you are unable to. Luckily, Piastri was able, though, to get round and correctly back onto the circuit as well. Ricciardo has moved up to second position. Perez currently on a lap right now. Of course, he's been given a 2-year extension at Red Bull, so he's there to stay.
Yeah, it looks like it as well. Oh, okay.
That means Max and Perez are going to be teammates for a long time.
Well, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 6 years.
Yeah, it is a very long time.
I think Hakkinen and Schumacher had 7. No, Hakkinen and Coulthard had 7 or 8.
They're going for a record.
96, 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001. Oh no, they had 6. But 7 seasons.
Which won't...
Yeah, does no one remember the fact that this track has been resurfaced the entire way round?
I don't think they do.
And it rained. Of course it's low grip everywhere. That's like
rained
saying
very
Megan's
hard.
hair is curly.
Yes.
It's an obvious fact, it just doesn't need saying. Perez across the line, still in 19th place then. 118.404. Seen him his worst result in qualifying as well. He was out in Q1 this time last year. 18th on the grid. There's a few birds there. The racing engineer for Perez. Happy he's staying in for a while.
Apparently there's no wind.
Really?
Yeah, apparently. According to Danny Rake. I wonder whether he's in the pit lane because there is 3.2 miles per hour wind.
Blowing in for kilometre.
Kilometre per hour.
Blowing in from the southwest. Look at this. On this date, Danny Ricciardo won his first ever Grand Prix at the Canadian Grand Prix in 2014. I remember that day. The Mercedes committed murder.
That was 10 years ago.
Yeah, they chopped each other. Hamilton retired with a puncture. Rosberg had an engine problem, and yeah, the wind has picked up, says Lewis Hamilton.
Okay, so I'm guessing Danny must be like in the pit lane or something. I'm checking this.
Well, according to Jacques Villeneuve, at least, Danny Ricciardo, the washed F1 driver, who doesn't deserve a seat in Formula One. Brave
Danny
as Jacques
does.
to say it.
He does deserve one. He just needs a better team.
Yeah.
Because he has that potential. I think he's must have been let down a lot by his teams.
Right, for everybody who defends Jacques Villeneuve, let me get this out right now. Jacques Villeneuve is a Champ Car champion. He is an Indy 500 champion. He is a Formula One world champion. But ever since 1998, he has failed to win anything.
You weren't even alive
No.
last time he won something.
So that's 26 years where he has failed to win a single thing. Now let's just get that into perspective here.
So he's won to talk.
That's 98, 99 with Williams, 2000, 2001 and 2002 and 2003 with BAR, British American Racing Honda. 2004, he didn't even get a drive until they sacked Gianno Trulli at Renault, and he was in for the last 3 races, and I think just got points. 2005, he signed with Sauber and was mediocre all year. And in 2006, he was still with Sauber, but in the BMW drive, until they dropped him halfway through the season.
Very Nick de Vries of them.
Yeah, and gave his seat to Robert Kubica. And Sebastian Vettel got a drive as well in America.
I miss Kubica.
Yeah. So, yeah. And then he went all over the place. So, brave to say that he's washed. Laura Meekis is on the pit wall.
Well, no, thanks a lot. I think it's a bit early days. You know, it's not the typical FP3 because of the rain and changing conditions yesterday. So I think a lot of cars are having different program. You see one Red Bull, the Mercedes, 2 Ferraris doing the long runs. We are not doing long runs. We have been focusing on short run performance as roughly half of the field. So I think it's a bit early to look at the classification, but we are trying to do a bit of the basis of the dry running that we couldn't do yesterday.
Is that because this track qualifying is a lot more important than at other tracks because overtaking is pretty difficult?
Well, you know, I guess overtaking is possible here. It's certainly not Monaco. So no, overtaking is possible. It's still in a group that is so tight. It's still very important to us. Yes, you are right to nail quali, and even if we have to pay a little bit of race pace for that, and this is why we are trying to to get these short runs sorted. Now, you know, maybe quali will be wet and it will be all for nothing, but that's been the approach we have been taking to try to prioritize qualifying.
Laurent, we're just looking at a replay here of Daniel coming out of turn 4 past the groundhogs on screen. Can I just take a step back away from the on-track? This morning we saw all of you 10 team principals having a meeting with F1 and the FIA, presumably to talk about 2026. We couldn't get our microphones in there. Can you share any bits of what was discussed and how that's all going?
Well, you know, at first it was not only 2026. No, Stefano is very often asking the team principals to sit down with him and the FIA pretty much at every race also. So we discuss about all sort of things from this race to 2026, and I think the teams, the FIA and F1 are all aligned on the roadmap to try to get this regulation as good as possible. We know we have some work to do, but the spirit is very constructive in trying to get the best possible for the sport. We have a bit of time to keep working on them, and that's what we will do.
There was a school of thoughts that said the FIA had released all this information in a bid to get the teams to get together and accelerate the agreements, as it were. It was a clever trick to stop the arguments and start the discussions.
Well, you know, the truth is, it is fair to say that the FIA has to publish these regulations before June 30th. That's the way the sporting code and the governance is working. So I don't think there were any trick there. I think they just had to publish the regulations. We know they are not perfect yet. And therefore it will be the basis on which we continue discussing. Now it had to go published for those reasons, but again, we know there is more work to do, and the spirit was very much let's try to use the next few weeks and months to sort it out. As you know, we cannot start to work on the aerodynamic of those cars before January 1st, so we still have a few weeks and months to get the regulation as best as we can.
Brilliant, Laurent, thank you so much. Looking forward to talking to you in qualifying. Here's George Russell on the soft tyre, Karun Chandon.
Yeah, Russell out of turn 1, Omi, and kicking out a bum bat through this. He's really pushing it hard on the softs for the first time.
And Logan Sargent was able to go fastest of all during all of that from Fernando Alonso. Sainz wasn't able to beat his time, but it won't last too long for Logan Sargent because George Russell is on the attack. He's now on the soft. He's now pushing on, and he's going to try and take it back away from the Williams driver, who is P1 right now. So great moment for Sargent, even if it's only for a little bit.
He's a 1:14.355, which is 9 hundredths of a second off.
It's not a frozen in hell.
Yeah, it is not frozen in hell. Oh, videos and photos of Kellyanne sectors of our David Arnice out here as well. Talk amongst yourselves. As Russell comes across the line, gripping contact with us all on our phones. Russell does a 1:14.279, 76,000 quicker than Sargent has. That's an interesting little run around. There's a couple of you here. Oh, that's a good one. Actually, Megan, there's a couple here that you could really take to. Oh, that's a beautiful photo of her and Dan.
Yeah.
Has Dan got my coat? Hello. Our niece took a selfie, her first selfie today. There it is. Oh, is it going to work? No, won't show up to the camera. Leclerc touched the wall.
Still lots of fooling, to be honest. And still on the brakes.
Oh, copy. So Charles Leclerc touched the wall, and he hit the sleeping policeman and brushed against the wall as well. Yeah, so not great from Charles coming through the final chicane and keeps it up. But I suppose, Omi, that's the pace you get for being a Monaco winner. Save that thought, because it's time to hand back over to BBC Radio 5 Live and Alex Brundle and Harry Benjamin.
Some racetracks where you turn the steering wheel, connect a lap together, and for whatever reason, just find yourself quicker than the competition. We all also have circuits that just don't play to our driving style. My theory on it is we all have strengths and weaknesses in our driving style. And some racetracks really highlight those weaknesses. Like, for example, I was always slightly weaker in the last tiny bit of brake release, controlling the attitude of the car in the last tiny bit of brake release, but quite strong in terms of throttle application and the control of that. Some circuits really benefited and complemented that. Other circuits really didn't. I'm not sure whether the groundhog percentage was a complementary factor or not, but we've certainly got a high groundhog percentage that we can see out on the circuit Gilles Villeneuve.
They're playing with fire so far this weekend and getting the best views in the house, the groundhogs. Well, we know there have been some incidents. Anthony Davidson springs to mind back in 2007. Have you ever had any, God forbid, wildlife incidents while on track?
I have, yeah. And I think we all have at some point. It's always the last lap around a sort of quiet test track when all the wildlife thinks you've gone home, and you do one last new tyre run, and then find one on the apex of turn 4, and you've got to decide what you're going to do. Normally brake and try and get out of it, but it can be really dangerous. It was in fact Jacques Villeneuve, who coined "Oh dear" when he found a deer in the middle of the racetrack.
Or was it Montoya? I think it was
Montoya.
Yeah, it was Montoya. Well, very, very quick thinking on his part to come up with a quip like that while in the car. But I mean, around here we've had incidents with pigeons, squirrels, groundhogs, of course, seagulls as well. Sebastian Vettel, I think, nipping a seagull once. So far, everyone touch wood, it's all been good so far. So just over half an hour remaining, and we're starting to see some soft tyre running. That's the fastest rubber, the red-walled rubber. Logan Sargent has gone fastest for Williams, 1:14.3. Alonso's time is on the medium. The other soft compound runner, Carlos Sainz, gone third fastest, a 1:14.5. And Russell is on an outlap at the moment on the softs, along with Valtteri Bottas. So I think we're getting the changeover now to seeing what they've got over one lap.
Interesting lap there from Sainz on the soft tyre in the Ferrari. Only managed a 1:14.5 in comparison to the lap of Logan Sargent. I don't know whether that's a set of softs that he'd run in FP2 that he was having another run on, but not that performant, that particular run on the soft tyre from Logan Sargent. We've got Valtteri Bottas making his round on that tyre as well, and George Russell, which is the car that you can hear the Mercedes putting in some purple microsectors on his first set of soft runs of the session. He finds himself slightly wide through the middle of 8 and 9, and then into the DRS zone, heading then down towards the mid-sector of the lap.
Looking nice and tidy from George Russell, who's qualified best around here, 4th back in 2023, and a race result of 4th back in 2022. Now,
yep, and will be increasing as Lewis Hamilton comes down across the line. This was a few moments ago, and did Hamilton touch the wall, exit the Champions chicane? Nearly. Having a little bit of a brush. I smell flowers.
So can I.
Yeah.
It's wood, I think.
Oh.
Wood chips.
Wood chips. How much wood could a wood chip?
7. It's 7.
When I was on my way to the Isle of St Ives, I met a man with 7 wives. Its wife had 7 cats. Each cat had 7 wives. How many were on the way to St Ives?
1.
Good. Which one?
The person.
The guy, yeah. Just one. The guy who was on his way to St Ives.
He was on his way to St Ives. They met on the way.
Yeah. Sit in the... I will watch Die Hard 3. Die Hard 3 is amazing. If you've never seen Die Hard, watch Die Hard 3. It is fantastic. Coming into it. Come on, where's the track noise? There we go. LH. If you want about washed drivers, you throw Danny Ricciardo in. No one's dared touch Lewis Hamilton, have they?
No, they haven't.
Considering the fact that George Russell got a win in a bad car, Lewis didn't.
He's gotten close, but he hasn't been able to catch up.
I do think Lewis will win races and maybe win a championship with Ferrari. But
I hope he does, because then he gets his 8th, and I know he really wants that.
I think the problem with Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes is the fact that he lost all motivation because the team just won't listen to him. So if you're not motivated to win,
I think that's what Danny's problem is
you're
right
not going to win. Ted's in the pits.
A brand new one in. They haven't actually specified whether it was one that they've used before, have they, Crofty? That's not the information I saw, that they just did a precautionary change of the power unit. They had to take everything apart, such was the burning damage and the intricacies of the energy recovery system. It was just much easier to take it all apart, put a new one in, but that's the key bit of information I don't have yet, because we haven't had anything official from the FIA. The only information from Red Bull is that we've changed the power unit, not that whether it's one from the original pool or a brand new one.
I have information from the FIA that there's nothing new coming, and I have the statement here from Red Bull to say we changed the engine as a precaution, so therefore it is an old one.
Old engine.
Okay, well, we will get to the bottom of that before qualifying. Let me tell you finally, about Sergio Perez. This is not the way to celebrate a new contract. Languishing in the bottom half of the
no, it's
well,
not.
the bottom 5, the bottom 2 of
He's
the
19th,
timing screens. And I've got to tell you, there's not much. They're just putting a bit more fuel in, or taking the fuel out. The fuel hose is attached. All the mechanics have abandoned his car for the moment because Max Verstappen is coming in for some practice pit stop, and Checo's just sitting there with his trainer keeping him cool and looking at the data, seeing where once they take the fuel out, he can find a bit more speed.
I'll tell you one thing as well, Omi, you know as well as I do, the fact that if Perez continues to not perform from now on to the end of the season, that's 16 races, Red Bull, no matter how good a contract they've signed, will box him and replace him with somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. They cannot afford for this to continue. It was fine, of course, last year and in previous years when Red Bull had the car to be up there. When Red Bull were always up there, as Yuki Tsunoda locks up as well, but they always had the car to be up there by a good mile, so Verstappen was always up there. But when now you've got Ferrari in there, now you've got McLaren in there, Mercedes also trying to bring upgrades as well. If you've got 3 teams attacking you, you need 2 cars up there, and Perez won't be able to deliver that, and he won't be able to deliver the points. So already that's the constructors thrown out of the window there, and even there's no one there to help Max either. So that's another issue for him. So for Red Bull, they're struggling, and they don't have support from Perez either. So it won't last long, and I wouldn't even be surprised if he continues to go out of Q1, Q2, and isn't performing in the races. That they may even cancel it at some point this year before even the deal starts.
I agree with you as well. Adam says as well. Liam Lawson for Checo, maybe? No, they would not put Liam Lawson straight into the main team at all. They would. That would be the stupidest thing to do. It could be Carlos Sainz, but I would more betting on Danny Ricciardo.
Maybe Yuki.
Nah, Yuki very much is lined up for the Aston Martin seat with the Honda deal.
I thought Danny had already signed.
Yeah, they've all signed Red Bull contracts.
They could swap.
That means, yeah, they can just move around. All it gives you is a Red Bull seat. It doesn't say you're going to drive for Visa, Cash App, or yeah. It'll be a Red Bull seat. So the probably Perez will swap around, and then it makes even more of a mockery for poor Liam Lawson. If Perez is there, Perez is gone. I think Ricciardo should be gone as well. The 2 most lackluster drivers in Formula 1 right now, in my opinion, are Checo Perez and Danny Ricciardo. Why they're there, I don't know.
I think they're not happy.
Sargent too, I think, has had a really short end. He's had his confidence knocked out of him, but he was doing really well as he's now on the radio after being blocked by Sainz.
What is this guy doing, man?
So,
do you know what I think is wrong with Sargent? He's in the wrong team.
Yeah. It's Hamilton blocking him too.
He is not in the right team.
Yeah.
I think if he can go to somewhere else, he can flourish more.
Where would Sargent go though? There isn't really anywhere left open. Alpine maybe. Nah, it's locked up.
Yeah.
Groundhog!
Yep.
Maybe
Lovely
he's going
stuff.
with...
But I think personally he should have had an extra year in F2 and won the title last year, then come into F1 this year as a rookie.
I agree with that.
How about... I can't remember the name of the team, but for some reason...
Sauber.
Yeah, Sauber. What if he goes in Sauber?
Hulkenberg's moving there, and they're eyeing up Sainz for the deal as well, because then it's an Audi, Sainz, legend Audi driver. alongside Hulkenberg, the German driver.
Yeah, but then Hulkenberg can pass on his knowledge to Sargent.
Nah, because Hulkenberg, what knowledge has Hulkenberg got? One pole position and a couple of third place qualifying. He's had no podiums.
What not to do?
Hulkenberg's had no podiums in Formula 1 either. It's like, did anyone see this morning? I retweeted it. Pirelli put a tweet out saying that Lance Stroll was an underrated driver, and his 3 victories in Formula 1 prove that he's deserving to keep his seat. Correct if I'm wrong, but he's never won a Grand Prix. He's had a pole position and 3 podiums, but he's never won a Grand Prix, let alone 3 of them.
He's never won.
No, the day Lance Stroll wins a Grand Prix is the day I quit commentating.
Don't.
No, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to add to that. The three drivers I want gone from next year, Perez, Ricciardo and Stroll. They are the ones holding up the driver market.
I reckon Lawson could be a good replacement for Stroll.
No, Lawson's in it. Lawson will spend a year at RB and then move up to Red Bull.
Yeah.
V-Carb, whatever they're calling it these days.
Yeah.
It's one of these...
But yeah, probably they were a bit jet lagged, but they said it hours after the tweet, so...
Yeah, can't blame a thing.
Oh my God.
They went completely nuts over there. Thing is that...
Just ridiculous.
Jacques Villeneuve said it at the F1 show yesterday as well. He said... Oh. Okay. Picture breakup. Jacques Villeneuve... Nope, Sonoda, radio. Rear is sliding around, man.
Copy.
So I need to pay attention, not close.
Swore again.
Right.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, Jacques Villeneuve said yesterday that Stroll doesn't want to... Maybe Stroll never wanted to drive in F1. Maybe he didn't want to be a racing driver.
Maybe he didn't. I reckon he'd do great in IndyCar.
No, to be fair, I don't want Lance Stroll in Formula 1 or any motorsport, to be fair. He doesn't deserve to be here. I know it's really critical because those that can do, those that can't talk about it, but Lance Stroll is the biggest hypocrite in Formula 1 right now. He is so oblivious. It is unbelievable. To go on a podcast and say, I am so, it's one of the best things about Formula 1 is that you can't pay your way up the ranks. You can't pay your way into Formula 1. It's the best of the best that get there.
Meanwhile, his father owns a team.
He brought him a Formula 3 team. He brought him illegal parts from Williams.
And his father has literally said...
He brought his seat in Williams. He brought him in F1 team, put him in there. And he's literally...
His father said he wants to win a championship with him. So he wants to keep him in that team.
No matter how good Lance Stroll, no matter how good Lance Stroll a car he'll ever have, he will never, ever win a world championship. Ted.
On the back of the car, they're just taking a bit of pressure on the rear wishbones to check everything is connected,
SHG.
which
What
it
was
is. The rear wheel will be done up shortly, but yeah, just as I was telling you how everything's going quite well, all the mechanics are having a look at the right rear as we look at it, the left rear as Lando sits. But that's a new set of soft tyres on, and we'll see if he can't go quickest. Piastri needs to find a little bit of time in all sectors, really, compared to his teammate. A 10th in first sector, a couple of tenths in the middle, and a 10th or so in the final sector. But yeah, Lando for pole. I'll just leave that hanging there for you, Costa.
It could be. So, this is what SHG says. Lance Stroll hits back at critics. People say Alonso, is super good, and I beat him the last few weekends. So take it as you want. Absolutely delusional BRAT. Acting business is something to be praised about. Yeah, just take a look. Alonso, the last few races. Oh yeah, terrible races. Accidents galore, and Stroll just managed to beat him by a few times. Did Stroll score any points? Exactly. just take a look here. Alonso has 33 points. Stroll has 11. Stroll is on the second page of the timing tower. That is how bad he actually is. And I don't get why they're not taking it as well, Omi, because it's just bizarre.
Yeah, indeed. just bizarre as well. But lots going on in the driver market. I'm hoping for more movement. Of course, will be interesting what Carlos Sainz does as well. Alexander
And
Albon.
Albon hit the wall! Albon's hit the wall and he's broken apart the suspension. He's hit the champion's wall. He's continued going, but Alexander Albon whacks the wall coming out of the last corner, and I think it's broken the rear track rod. He's going to be very careful now, bringing that back into the pit lane. Yellow's out sector 1. He'll go back to green, but
We'll continue.
I would stop that and let it bring it back because you're doing more damage. Yeah, look, he's broken the front and rear wishbones. He's got to be very careful. That he's got no steering.
That is bad.
Yeah, also, Jack Villeneuve tell him to hit the wall yesterday.
Yeah, Villeneuve told him to hit the wall. He's done it today, Jacques. Let's take a look at it again, Omi. Turns in. He's going to get the sausage curb.
Indeed. Then just skates out into the barrier, but able to continue on. But he was, but Villeneuve said he should have hit it. And well, he's done it today. So Albon does decide to hit the wall. Hamilton quickest of all in the first sector right now as well. Albon just making his way now towards the third sector, so he's just trying to bring it home and to the pit lane for the team to take a look. Verstappen though continuing to also try attack. He is 41 thousandths off the lap time of Verstappen, but it's off Russell, but it's the other Mercedes of Hamilton that is going miles quicker right now.
The steering looks gone before he even fully made that corner.
He hit the sausage curb, didn't he, on the inside? And it just launched
something.
Yeah, it launched him straight away. So I reckon front right and rear right track rods, especially the rear right track rod getting broken in as well. Verstappen comes across the line. Verstappen second, it's a 1:13.289. But Hamilton fastest in the first two sectors. This is a Ferrari of Leclerc coming out the pit lane, and Hamilton fastest 1:12.549, 7.5 tenths quicker than what Russell has at the moment with 10 minutes to go. So yeah, I really don't like Lance Stroll for that one coming into it. Behind Tsunoda as well, says SHG, yes he is. Brother JP, Lance Stroll comes across as a very unrelatable and unlikable driver. I wonder if he has many Canadian fans. Don't think he does actually. I would bring in Tsunoda 100% every other day to replace that wasted vacant spot as well. There's a suspension flapping around on the rear right of Alexander Albon's car. Poor Sargent, he just lost his suspension to Alex. Ken, I agree with you. Poor Sargent, he's lost it now. That was really bad in Australia. I can't believe that happened.
They gave him his car. Why?
I know. Even though Latifi isn't a really good driver in F1, but his character as a person is much better than Stroll. He was. Here it is again from the Wall of Champions perspective. Jacques Villeneuve says he can't be a world champion unless he hits it. Alexander Albon hits the Wall of Champions. Oh. Started by Villeneuve back in 1996 and in 1997 and in 1999.
Does that mean he's going to be champion one day?
Yeah. Jacques Villeneuve didn't have much luck at his home circuit. His father did that. That's why the place is called Circuit Gilles Villeneuve on the Ile Notre Dame. Go on.
I was going to say something, Craig.
I
can't remember what it was.
How useless Lance Stroll is? What's happened?
No.
The car's jumping around a lot, like up and down, especially breaking into one.
Listen.
It's called proporting, Max.
Also turn 3 and 4.
It's called proporting, Max. It's just a bit heavier because it's no grip.
And the track's a little bit bumpy. They haven't removed all the bumps in the resurfacing, as Fernando.
Which you think they would have done?
Yeah. Jenson Button's hit that wall.
As Max?
I believe Max has hit the wall here.
Lewis?
Yes. Lewis has never hit the wall.
Michelle?
No.
Lando?
No.
George?
Yes.
Okay, so he's going to be a champion.
It's involving Albon, unsafe condition. He's been noted. Well, let's just go back to the pit lane. FIA, stop being a... stop being a...
unkind person.
Yeah. Unsafe condition. He's getting back to the pit lane. Even though the TV isn't really, Magnussen in Q2 in 2019 and Ruin Grosjean's lap. Yeah, I remember commentating on that actually as well.
I remember I was going to say.
Go on.
Okay, so I find it funny that despite Sargent having a seat in F1, his seat was literally taken from him and given to his teammate.
Australia was a weird weekend.
It wouldn't have even fitted
You weren't
because
there.
all the seats are moulded.
Oh no, you missed Japan, didn't you? Yeah.
All the seats are moulded. So we're just like, right, we're going to give you Logan's car. It's not moulded to me. We
The
don't
chassis,
care.
it's the chassis, of course. That they took. The seat can change. But you are correct. It was a weird weekend. You've only missed Japan this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, because it was very late.
To be fair, missing one race out of the first 14 is not bad.
Usually I would have missed 5.
A couple more, yeah. Lando going through. Hulkenberg's on lap time as well. Hamilton. Let's hear from Charles Leclerc.
So currently P5. Main lost turns 1, 2, 8, 9, and last chicane. Main one is turn 1, 2, 3 tenths.
I feel like we are not doing something right on 1, 2.
Hulkenberg 14th. Sainz is blocking someone else. Sainz now standing right in the middle of the track, and he's really angered one of the Alpine drivers.
Did he just impede?
Hang on, we've got 4 of them down there. We've got an Alpine, we've got we've got Stroll, Perez, Gasly, Sainz, and Verstappen, and Sainz is blocking everybody right now on the track. Carlos, get out of the main road!
Carlos, just because you backed out of a fast lap doesn't mean everyone else hasn't.
God. Maybe Carlos Sainz shouldn't be in Formula One, because the one thing he's never ever done in the 2 years since he started doing this is realise that he's not in. He's in the middle of the road. It really frustrates me when he does this, Omi. He did this last year here in Montreal as well, and nearly caused a massive pile-up in qualifying.
Verstappen's got to second.
Yep. Ooh, yeah, Verstappen's gone to second, but yeah, of course impeded Gasly in Q1, so it was absolute chaos last year, and we were all hating on him around this time last year for the exact same reason. So we probably could be doing the exact same 1 year later.
Can't even say that at least he's won a Grand Prix and Leclerc hasn't now, because Leclerc and Sainz have both won 1 Grand Prix. Norris has even won a race as well. Everything else going the way of Maxi Verstappen at the moment.
Now it's Oscar's turn.
Yeah.
Speaking of.
Oscar Piastri goes third on a 1:13.266. John says Nick Heidfeld and Rubens Barrichello in 2001 hit the wall of champions as well. They did. In the Grand Prix though, Barrichello was taken out by Montoya down at turns 5 and 6. Gasly with it.
Sainz, the car behind on a push lap.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, I'm sorry, mate.
Yeah, back in 2001. Montoya and Barrichello came together, exit turn 5 and 6, and brought out the safety car. As this is Sainz, so Gasly goes off the track, and then Sainz goes back and blocks him.
Yeah. So Sainz was on a.
So Sainz on a fast lap, Alpine blocks him, and yeah, Sainz decides to get his revenge on everybody else. Also, just noticed that Logan is faster than Alex Albon. Yeah, Sargent 13th, Albon's 15th. They've all done soft tyre runs. There's the Gasly and Sainz battle.
From a certain angle, it looked like Sainz was about to impede.
Look, waving, saying, I'm sorry, says Gasly, and Sainz says, it's okay, I do it all the time.
I'm glad someone's taking inspiration from me.
And here's George Russell. Yep, off the track, over the bump, over the mud as well.
This is why they paint them.
That's George Russell proving that, I don't know what it is, but George Russell just rubs me up the wrong way. Don't know. He's a really nice guy, but there's just something about him sometimes that I go, I think it's because go on, Amy.
Yeah, I had the same thing for George Russell, but that's mostly because he kept winning in F2 in 2018.
That's
so,
true.
That's annoying me.
What the hell is this virtual graphic that we've got on right now? I mean, it looks, it's great for the overhead cameras.
It's looking like an F1 game.
Yeah. For the helicopter cam, that's perfect. And on board where we can see who it is, maybe not. Here comes Lance Stroll up towards the line then. He's in 11th place at the moment, and Stroll goes second on a 1:13.081. And Sainz is backed out of the lap.
Again.
Yeah. Stroll finishing a second session. Russell is in turn 9, failing to follow race director's instructions, escape road instructions noted by the stewards. Okay. On board, and here is George Russell now. He'll box. Is he going to box or continue on? He'll continue on. Oh, nearly in the World Champions as well. This chair needs drastically repairing. Megan is here, by the way. You just can't see her. Go on, Emmy.
Mercedes 1-2 now. Russell into second. Hamilton now in first. 2 minutes to go on the clock as well. Magnussen improving a little bit in the second sector. Carlos Sainz down to the final chicane and gets a tire on the grass and has to go through the runoff and continues on there. Does Carlos Sainz.
And this is Logan Sargent nearly getting an airplane accident with one of the McLarens in the braking zone.
What's he doing, man? Honestly, that's nearly huge.
Now, Sargent had a moment about 10 minutes ago where he was behind Lewis. Lewis pulled to the left, and there was a Ferrari right in his way.
There's a branch on the track as well on the racing line.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell which McLaren that was, but that was massive because Sargent nearly went airplane accident.
I can't even see where Sargent is.
He's boxed. Yeah, Sargent's boxed.
Something tells me Orlando. Just by like where people were at the time.
Incident involving Albon's been reviewed. No further action in front safe condition.
We are extremely slow.
Well, at the moment.
You're 10th. Yes, you are.
Weird to hear them say that. Because they are. Oh, and Verstappen nearly touching the wall. Exit of 14.
Well, we already knew he was a champion.
112.923. Closes in 3/10 of Hamilton. Leclerc 10th, Sainz 18th. If this is how it runs in qualifying later on, Ferrari are going to be praying for rain because in the dry they have no pace at all. And look, this is how close Verstappen got to the wall as well. Watch it, ready? Bonk. And no suspension damage. He got lucky there, Max, because that was touching the wall.
I hit a little bit the wall on the right rear.
Okay, understood.
We saw.
Yeah, here it is, look. Ready? And exactly the same as Albon, but nothing on that Red Bull brakes.
Intriguing.
Oh, it's a big
He always gets close. He always gets very close.
Look at that. 0 centimeters too close to the wall, powered by AWS. Yeah, that's because he hit the wall! He hit the wall!
Wow.
He couldn't get much closer to the wall if he tried. He could do a Grosjean and go through the wall and be minus, but he hit the wall. And there's the checker flag.
Wow.
Oh, AWS sometimes. Absolute waste of space.
Right. Science, let's see. Oh, he only goes 12th. Okay, so Ferrari are looking slow, and they will be hoping for a bit of rain. Ferrari 10th and 12th, as we've mentioned. So yeah, both Ferraris not looking on pace here in the drive right now.
This is a big worry for Ferrari that they are not where they need to be right now. Hamilton fastest to 1:12.549. Verstappen, Russell, Stroll, Piastri, top 5. Ricciardo, Norris, Alonso, Perez, Leclerc takes us with the top 10. This is getting very interesting now. Bono, there he is, Peter Bonington, starting to think, okay, it might be hammer time. But Verstappen's right behind. I don't think we're looking at a weekend where, oh, look how close it's going to be, because Max is looking a bit more dialed in now. I think Max will take pole and run away with this one, unless it rains. Yellow flag sector 3. DRS, gone?
Magnussen.
Yeah. Practice starts on the grid.
Yeah.
It's triggered it.
Yeah.
There's Gianpiero Lambesi, the GP to everybody in the paddock. He's the race engineer for Max Verstappen.
I'm gonna go because I'm cold.
Fair dues, it is getting a bit cold. See if they're back. I'll start the curry.
They're not. I have one. I haven't heard the car come back yet. I'm gonna make myself a hot chocolate. I haven't had one in.
I'm about to make you a curry.
I I'm weird, you know that.
You're going to have a chicken korma curry.
Yes, I am.
All I've had today is 2 homemade sausage rolls and 1.5 crepes. I shared one with Mum. It was a big, thick one. This is Bottas. A lot of traffic on that last line as well. Here's the radio.
Bit of traffic paradise there in the last corner.
Yeah, I saw that. Cars were bunching up.
Traffic paradise then as well for Valtteri as he comes through. Too close to the wall. And who else hit the wall? Oh, this was Max clipping it beforehand on the wall of champions run around, getting a bit more spark. If only had gone in a bit harder, that would have really given us only the bounce we needed for the rest of the weekend.
Indeed, definitely would have, but he's been close earlier on in the session. I was just spotted to that wall as he now deals with the practice start.
Lights out, away we go. Kind of missing there's no support series action this weekend.
Always.
Then we'll say
like
that.
for you, yeah. Like for you, of course have other series, but for me it's like only the only thing I actually care about is F3, F2, Porsche, and F1, and F1 Academy. But no, we've got none of that.
You're all set up. Have you got everything set up you needed for IndyCar? Is that all done now?
We need to finalise it, so I think after quali, if you're free, we could.
F1 quali.
Yeah, after F1 quali.
I am not. I have to go and join a party, which is why I'm wearing a beautiful. Josh T will be. He'll help.
Okay, brilliant.
He knows my weird software. I'll get your stream.
Or we could
key as
tomorrow,
well.
or before F1 quali.
Yeah, we got time. You're literally probably only doing it for around about half an hour. That's the really weird thing. And then I come in and swoop in.
And then you can also come back in the commentary as well.
Yes, yeah. I'll come in, sweep in, get it all back. Get to do Road America. Oh, here's the results then from the third session for the Canadian Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton is fastest with Max Verstappen second and George Russell finishes in third position. Stroll's fourth with Piastri fifth, Ricciardo sixth, Norris seventh, Alonso eighth, Perez 9th, and Charles Leclerc rounds out the top 10. Magnussen 11th, Sainz is 12th, Bottas 13th, Sargent 14th, Tsunoda 15th, Gasly 16th, Hulkenberg 17th, Albon 18th, Ocon 19th, and Zhou Guanyu puts it in 20th position here for the Grand Prix of Canada. Okay then, Naomi, what did you make of the third and final practice session for this year's Grand Prix?
Crucial running has been done, but we still don't know how the order is going to look. We still don't know whether it's going to rain or not in qualifying. There's still a lot of unknowns, but Mercedes looking good, Verstappen looking a bit more dialed in, but still struggling here and there. So nothing is for sure, basically. So we'll find out, and it still could be right, so we could get a completely different order. So who knows how this weekend is going to go in qualifying and the race. But we've got practice done, and now it's time for 2 competitive sessions.
It really is. Thank you, Omi, for your company, but thanks to Megan as well. Thanks to all of you at home. We will be back for the main action, qualifying at 8:45 p.m. in about 2 hours' time. And then, of course, we've got IndyCar qualifying at ditto time coming up. And then tomorrow, it's 3 British Touring Car races and the Canadian Grand Prix on air from 6:15 p.m. British Summer Time. Lights out at 7. And then after that, it's NASCAR and IndyCar at the same time. We'll be back for qualifying in 2 hours. It's Lewis Hamilton fastest for the Canadian Grand Prix. Bye for now.